And just like that, 2023 is almost over. It has come and gone, and 2024 will be here before we know it. And I said in a previous video that I thought it was maybe one of the busiest years, but it was, in fact, the busiest year that I've had doing either firewood or content creation. It was a wild one. The year started off in January with me finally deciding that I needed to do something back here in the Woodyard and put up something of a shelter. So the plan started forming in January, February, and in March. What I did was I cleared out all of the trees that were back here that were dead, standing, and needed to come down in order to make way for the things that were to come throughout the rest of the year. It was a bit of a process. It was a slow process, but it was good because in the early part of the year, that's when things aren't really that busy, and I had the time to put in the effort and put in the work that was needed in order to clear out the space back here, clear out the trees, and get ready for what was to come. So the month of April saw one big accomplishment here for the channel, a milestone that we hit, and that was the 1,000th video. Since starting the Back 40 Firewood YouTube channel, I've tried to consistently publish 3 videos a week, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, along then with the live stream on Friday. And there have been a few times that I've missed a couple days here and there. I think maybe 2 or 3 times that I missed not putting a video up on schedule. But over the course of having this channel, I finally reached the 1,000th video in the month of April of 2023. So the month of May was a busy one. It started out with a trip down to Ohio to help Joe from Ohio Woodburner move his operation from his home base location to his brand new Woodyard. And then he also had an open house where everyone could come, check out the machines, run some saws. It was a great time. And that was the first trip of the year going down to Ohio. I'd go back again later on in the year, but that trip down to Ohio, that was a fun one. And it was a good way to kick off the month. And then, of course, the other big thing in the month of May, right here, the Easton-made 37D with the attached conveyor. This was the big, I guess, highlight of the month of May. This is something that was in the works for quite some time. I didn't let anything on about it on the channel at all for it was almost a year. And working with Andrew was it was unbelievable how great it is working with him, and just being able to have a machine like this to show you guys, to use, to see what it can really do. It's just been incredible. It's something that I would have never dreamed that one day I would be splitting wood with something like this. But I'm very thankful and I'm very grateful for Andrew and all the guys there at Easton Made for making this happen. And yeah, that was the big highlight from the month of May. So on to June. June was when I decided to put up the VersaTube carport. That's what I decided to go with as far as a structure back here in the Woodyard to work under and be out of the elements. So I started putting the VersaTube up in June. I finished in June. So June was all about the VersaTube. It is 18 by 30. And if I had to do it all over again, I would still get a VersaTube. The only thing that I would do different is I think I would have someone put it up for me or have someone help me put it up, because it was a bit of a challenge. There were some days when things took longer than I thought. Things didn't quite exactly line up as I wanted them to there. So, but everything still worked out. There might be 1 or 2 spots that isn't quite perfectly aligned and square, but overall, I'm very happy that I ended up going this route with the VersaTube. Again, if I were to do it over again, I would just probably have someone or have people come to either help me that know what they were doing more than I did, or hire it out to have it put together and put up. But otherwise, yeah, if I were to do it all over again, I would still go the route of the VersaTube. I would just do it a little different and not make it a DIY, do-it-yourself project. The month of July saw the Japa 365 Plus Pro show up in the Woodyard from Metsa Machines. I was working with Bob Nelson at the time, and again, great service, great working with Bob, great working with everyone at Metsa Machines to be able to bring this to the Woodyard and bring it to you guys to see what something like this Japa 365 can do. This machine is, it's crazy fast making firewood. It's super easy to run, and it is just a great machine. And I, again, am super grateful for being able to have this here and to demo it and use it. Being able to bring something like this to the channel, to the Woodyard, it was pretty special, and it's, like I said, I'm very grateful for the opportunity. August 2023, my first time attending the Woodsman Field Day show in Boonville, New York. Amanda and I traveled out to New York, upstate New York. She went hiking, I went to the show. It was a great time. I met a lot of people there for the first time, including Mr. Tim Van Dusen. It was great to finally meet him. He's been a huge supporter and sponsor of the channel, building axes. I think at the Boonville show, during the Friday night live stream and during the show, I think we ended up giving away the most Van Dusen axes we've ever given away live on a live stream or in person or whatever. So that was a huge highlight of the month. The Boonville show I did enjoy. The weather didn't cooperate, so that kind of was a downer. But it was great seeing everyone at Boonville and just checking that box off of my list of things to do in 2023. September was a big month, mostly because I turned 50. But the other thing I did in September is I released the Series 1 Back 40 Firewood trading cards, which it's just something that I had in my mind, a project that I wanted to do for a long time. I finally found the right people to work with to make it happen. The other big thing, we reached the milestone of the 200th consecutive Friday Night live stream. So right after September comes October, and we all know what happens the first week of October. That's right, we are down at the Paul Bunyan Show in Cambridge, Ohio. And this year was better than the last year. It always is. It always seems like the next year is always better than the previous year, but this year at Bunyan was just a great time. And I think the live stream at Bunyan this past year was one of the best live streams we've ever had. The other big event in October was the Firewood Fest. Originally, we had planned to have this at Rick's Woodyard, but due to the weather, getting about 5 inches of rain in the few days before the event, we had to cancel the event, but there were still a few people that wanted to get together and make some firewood. So they came over to my woodyard, and we spent the afternoon running saws, running machines, splitting firewood, and just having a great time. In November, I kind of hinted at I may be getting rid of the Coyote CK2610. But I had the opportunity in November to demo for a couple days the Intrepid mini loader. And that little articulating mini loader, that thing was pretty cool and pretty sweet to use around the woodyard here and see just what it could all do. And it was something that was very versatile, could do a lot. So in November, once again, I was very fortunate to have the opportunity to try out the Intrepid mini loader for a few days. So for now, there's no big changes planned for anything in the foreseeable future. The Coyote is staying here and will continue to be put to use here in the woodyard. So this past month of December, had a few highlights. Being able to work with Kelly and everyone from Hammerhead Attachments, having them come down to Rick's Woodyard to demo the firewood blocker and also the conveyor table. Those two things were very cool to see and very impressive. And again, very fortunate to have that opportunity to have them stop by, show that equipment off, bring it to you guys here on the channel. And then just the other thing is now wrapping up 2023. It's been a wild, crazy year. A lot has happened, more than I imagined it would have. So I want to thank you all for tuning in, whether you have recently found the channel or whether you've been with us for this entire year of 2023, even as far back as day one, for however long you've been with all of us here on the Back 40 Firewood channel. Greatly appreciate you guys coming along for the ride, and hopefully you'll be sticking around to see where the ride takes us in 2024. So thanks again, everyone. Enjoy your new year. Happy New Year. We'll see you in 2024.